Okay, guys. Hey, what's up? It's Friday night. It's Josh here with Inktology, and we are continuing the sketching of Thundercats characters. I'm really stoked about it. I was going to start inking tonight, thought about it, and then I was like, there's so much more I could be doing. So I decided to continue drawing more characters. Um, you know, let me put on some music for everybody. Find something. Find some copyright free stuff. You know what I mean? Is this copyright free? It says. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Get tagged, oh well. All right. Yeah, yesterday I was just like on my live stream without music and I could hear myself breathing too heavy. It was intense. Randy, evening. Thank you. How's your sketches going? They coming out good? You getting more proportions going on, figuring it out? I'm sure they're coming out great. Sure they're coming out great. It's Friday night. You got nothing going on? Just chilling? Day's over. I've been packing. I have one last order to pack for my game, and then I'm done with the Kickstarter. I'm so happy. So the last hour or so, I re-sketched this. I re-outlined it because I wanted to add the other characters. I just felt it was unfair that Lion-O and Chitara was the only ones here, and I was like, you just. I need Tigra and all the other cats involved. So that's what we're going to do is we're just going to continue sketching and just have fun sketching. Watched a couple episodes today so I can remind myself of why I used to watch it. And man, it's a good show, but it is kind of creepy, really. If you rewatch it, it's got some weird Disney innuendo kind of stuff going on. Definitely with Lion-O and the cat. I forget the cat's name already, but oh well, that's that sucks. But hey, yeah, there's always tomorrow. Give it another go. See what happens. See if you can get more improvement. I mean, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be quite busy, but I'm going to try my best to get a lot of this guy done. But I need to get onto my YouTube videos and actually edit an actual post, which is kind of sucky because I'm really bad about that. Live streams are becoming easier because I'm able to get on here and force myself to draw. But actually posting quality videos is something I need to do for my channel. And I haven't been able to do it. So maybe tomorrow I will get up on that because... my viewers are going to need something. I can't just be posting once a month. That's just terrible on my end. Just coming up with content to edit and stuff is never easy. I guess I could teach and do stuff, but then I feel like there's so many other better teachers out there that give really good quality information. Why follow me on that end? But I need to do it. Gotta do it. It's kind of like a job. A fun job, though. Anyways, any characters you're trying to design? Like anyone that I would know? Like a comic book character? Cartoon character? Man, okay. So... thank you for joining. If anyone else has joined and they're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to this channel. That would help out your creative friend, me, your neighbor, in progressing in this whole YouTube fun adventure, you know, helps me put out more content. It definitely encourages me, and encouragement is it's more valuable than money. So, and if you have any suggestions that you want me to draw on the live stream, let me know. I'm always down. This Thundercats was a suggestion, and look how good it's coming out. It's coming out pretty good. I haven't taken my time drawing in a while, you know. I guess I should. Just got done watching Beetlejuice, the first one, because the second one's trailer just dropped, and I was like, wow, I haven't seen Beetlejuice in so long. And what a wild, crazy movie that is. Michael Keaton and everyone else is just, they're fantastic. Brilliant movie. Definitely worth a watch. Oh, sorry. My bad. Forgot to tell everybody, I'm allergic to drawing, so when I draw, I sneeze a lot. Yeah. Don't know what to practice. You know, when you don't know what to do with then, you just, you know, replicate someone else's drawing. Just draw something fun, try to copy it the best you can, and kind of learn the muscle shadows and stuff. That's what I do. When I don't know what to draw, I either that or I just doodle and then hope and pray that something will come out of it. One of my favorite artists is Jay Lee. He is a comic book artist, and he does a lot of really good work in cover art. And he is, I think he's Korean, and he does amazing stuff. I love his style. It's like super clean, super like smooth lines, and he did the Dark Tower series. So when I look at his stuff, I get really inspired. You know, Kim Jong-gi is really good too, to help inspire as well. But his style is very not kind of like what I do. So Jay Lee is something I try to look towards to do, because he's like a, you know, you gotta have your role models, and that dude right there is my kind of role model for art when it comes to comic book and characters, because they're just such smooth lines, and it's encouraging. And then I try to go do something like that, or you know, I think it's important to steal styles in a sense. Like when you're stumped, go out there and copy someone's style. Don't like put a piece of paper and trace. Tracing is not what you should do. It doesn't teach you anything. It's just line over line. But take someone's style and replicate their line work off page, and that teaches you a lot about why they did something and how they did it, and you know, your proportions and stuff like that. So if you ever get stumped, you know, try that technique. Otherwise, yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, it's hard to stay motivated, so don't feel bad about it, though. Wow, my allergies is kicking in hard right now. So think of like the shadows here. I'm just gonna drop down, and there's this muscle that comes in. You can see here it comes into like that, and then you're gonna want to come down to the knee. And then that could be all shadowed, shaded like a shadow. Maybe make a little bit of highlight there just for depth and, you know, muscle tonement, whatever. Sometimes I just add random spots where I don't color it in and just see what happens. It's a lot of guessing game. Even if you know where the muscles is. Oh my gosh. Oh well. It's just sometimes just guessing is just figuring it out, you know. Oh man. I watched another show. I was watching X-Men today, and what's funny is that I was watching the X-Men cartoon of the old 90, I don't know when that cartoon came out. I don't know, 90s. But I didn't realize, me being stupid enough to not realize, is that the movies are based off of that show, the cartoon, Days of Future Past, and all these different episodes are kind of like their apocalypse and stuff like that is based off of they put that into the movies. And I was like, oh. But the only thing that they didn't put in was Gambit, which I don't understand. Like, why is Gambit not really a part of the X-Men movies when he's one of the coolest and more main characters of the entire cartoon series? It kind of pisses me off because it's not like his characters really, I mean, they put him in there, but they put him in there for like such a short amount, and he's like this really nonchalant gambler, and you know, but like in the cartoon he's like all up in that business, you know. So kind of frustrated why they didn't do that, because his character has so much depth to him, especially with Rogue. And why did they make Rogue such a weirdo in the movie? Like in the cartoon she was hot. You know, she was this, even in comic books, she was great. In the movie, they just made her into this kid who had no ability whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. The question before, are there any artists you'd recommend? Yeah, I mean, Jim Lee is great. You know, he's pretty fantastic. I like to learn a lot from. Honestly, you could choose any of the top dudes, but you know, oh man, I learned from this. Actually, what helped me a lot more than comic book proportions, if you don't want to do comic book art and stuff and you just want to learn like more about shadows and form and stuff, there's an artist named Scott Waddell. Let me type it in real quick. I think that's how you spell his name, but his name is Scott Waddell, and he's an oil painter, right? But he does these tutorials on YouTube as well as on, you can buy his course and stuff. But his classes taught me so much more about the form and shadow and shading and lights and stuff like that. And it helped a lot with forming my characters and forming the actual... Sorry, I gotta blow my nose because this allergy's ripping through me right now. But he's great if you really want to get like a classical structure. He does definitely do like the apple and do all that kind of stuff, like still life kind of work to teach you. But learning that will benefit heavily. But if you're doing comic book stuff and you want to strictly do comic book art, then I say Jim is really good, Jim Lee. And then who's the other dude? Oh gosh. Oh shoot, I can't, my brain is fried right now. I wouldn't say Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane has such a weird way of his kind of doing stuff. I learned a lot from an artist that did a comic book called Soul Saga. He had really good form and shadows with his lines. You can do him. I don't remember his name though. Golly, what am I allergic to in this place? Go in silent mode. But honestly, you know, one of the best, what I usually do for these characters and stuff is I'll find a human form, like a pose. Either I will take a photo of myself in the pose, which I did for the, what did I do that for? The Spartan ink drawing that I did in a couple episodes ago for a tattoo. I just took a photo of myself with the lighting that I wanted. And then I just used the lighting and then manipulated the muscle work. So obviously I'm not that strong as a Spartan. I don't look like that. I don't have all this like rib cage crap. And I definitely don't look like this guy. But if you look online, you could find a lot of poses from people that are posing. You can even take from other comic book pages and manipulate their art. I wish I had a comic book right now that you could do that with. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just everyone's learning from everybody, and no one can actually say that, no, I didn't steal anything from anybody, because all art is kind of molded from someone else, so you shouldn't feel bad. Just don't copy verbatim, you know? Like, change it up a little bit, make it a little bit different, add clothing, add more flair to it, shade it differently, you know? And you'll be fine. There's no harm in it. No artist really cares that much, not that I know of. Like if you took my artwork and then you changed up a few things and made it, like I don't really care. Like it's a different thing, and you know, who cares? That's just it. Now if you're copying it and you're you know, each and every single line, and then you're calling it your own artwork, and it's the same character and stuff, then we got issues, you know, like not just copyright issues, but you're meant to learn from other artists, and it's very important to do so. So, especially ones that you enjoy, like Jay Lee. His work is fantastic. I don't copy his work. Actually, I never really looked at his work and copied it, but I take a lot of hints from him, like a lot of the shading styles and a lot of the smooth, long legs and stuff I'll do on some of my own work when I doodle. But I'll never like trace, just because it's not polite, you know. Trying to think of some other artists, but nothing's coming to my mind right now. But I enjoy Scott Waddell. He's legit. He's like really good. He's a good artist. Really kind. He's like the Bob Ross of today kind of dude. But the more you just draw, like Kim Jong-il is a perfect example of like what it means to continuously be learning the drawing, is that he's always drawing perspectives and filling in those characters and stuff. And what that does is it's muscle memory. A lot of people think it's just like you learning and you have to memorize all these things. It has nothing to do with really memory. It's muscle memory all the way through, I believe. Because your hand is remembering, oh, well, this is how thick the leg is. Oh, the shadow should go down here. There's only two muscles that are really prominent, you know, and a small one here when it bends. Like, you're not really thinking about that. Your hand is just doing it because it's done it before. And on top of that, when you've done it at so many different angles, your brain kind of constructs it to work, right, in the way it should. So you shouldn't think of it as like, oh, I got to draw 1,000 different poses because my brain has to remember this. You should be like, I want to draw 5,000 poses because my hands will remember it. And that will be the bigger benefit, which they don't really tell you in school. I don't know why they don't really teach you that. They just tell you to do it, and they don't explain why. It's just like a sport. When you throw a football, you're going to throw it 100 times. But the more times you throw it, the more it becomes comfortable in your hands. It's just purely muscle. You know, your hands have memory. Your body has memory. Frozzy, I love your name. The Frozzy is a fun thing to say. Frozzy Tango. It's just a cool, fun thing. No, you're not taking away anything from my time, my friend. This is what my channel is about. It's about helping out anyone who asks, who has questions. In fact, I'd rather be doing that than drawing. I really wish my nose wasn't going crazy right now and my face wasn't feeling super oily. I don't know what it is. Oh my god. I can use the oil off my skin for like cooking. Crazy. Too much Chinese food today. Oh, gross. Josh, what is happening? There's cool things that you learn and you pick up, like when you're drawing. For example, this line that I just did. Me darkening it helps pop out the image. So when you want to like pop something out, darken the outline on the underneath it, and leave the top lighter. And then you do that every once in a while. Just like darken certain lines, and you'll see that the drawing itself will pop. It's a weird thing that I learned from. I don't know where the heck I learned it from. And you see it really brings it out, like on the hair. If I was to like really darken this line here, and then darken this line, and darken this line, you get a whole different vibe to it, and it's just fun to do. Okay, so today I want to try to add 2 more characters, if not at least 1 more. I've got a reference of... Where'd my boy go? We're doing not Tigra. Tigra's dope, but we're gonna do what's his name? Aw, man, don't do this to me. So on my channel we have a fun little game where you try to figure out what Josh is trying to say. Because I can't remember half the time. Villains. Why did I type in villains? Panthro. Sorry, Panthro. I wasn't going to do Jaga. He's kind of a lame character to me. I don't really like Jaga. I'm going to do Snarf, of course, down here in the corner. And then, let me zoom out. So, when I do my drawings for like, when I do like poster drawings and stuff like that, I'm finding I do a lot more than I used to do. I take poses, right? And this is, I don't know if you guys have an iPad or Photoshop or a computer, but go on, get on your computer, find the poses that you want to recreate and kind of manipulate, right? Find a guy who's doing this kind of stuff. And you can always exaggerate the muscles on them and tighten them up. And if you ever want to make them look more comic booky, if you're taking a human reference, humans don't have very strong, sharp edges. They're very smooth and blobbly, you know, like bleh. What you do is you just sharpen those edges make them more like square and rectangular. Now she's more Marvel because she's more smooth everywhere. But for men, you want to just kind of sharpen some of these things in. That gives them this really strong vibe. But you can do that with humans if you're going to use them as a reference, right? I mean, most people do. And you can even extend their chest and stuff like that out. So, you know, this guy didn't have these big of arms. You just extend it, you extend it, you extend it, and you extend his thigh. Always extend the thighs. And thighs are never this big, but they always look cooler when you draw them, when they're a little bit thicker, right? Don't really know why that is. It's just cool that way. But what I do is I actually put these characters in position in like a Photoshop or something on top of each other where I want to see them, and then I put out the whole image to the characters. Now I didn't do it to this one fully because I was busy today, but I did find a character that I kind of wanted to draw here and the pose, and now I'm going to turn that person into Panthro. So got to figure out how to do that. But then I'm going to put the two Wildy Cat, Wildy Kid, Wild Kid, Wildcat, Wildy, Wildy, I forget their names. Willy Cat, sorry, Wildy. Willy Cat and Willy Kit are going to be up here because this fills up that space. And then Panthro is here. Tigra is probably going to be down here, kind of like in the background. He's one of the cooler characters, but I don't know. I just don't really think I should have him as more important. And then you're going to have Snarf here, and then in the background you'll have the head, kind of the villain Mum-Ra, right? Mum-Ra will kind of be in the back, just as the main thing. Or I will not do the back at all, and I'll just do like this Thundercats logo thing in the back. Don't really know. Yeah, so Mum-Ra, I really want to do Mum-Ra, but if I fill up this whole thing with all the characters, there's not going to be much space. He might be just like his mouth opening and his face in the back, like huge head. You feel me? Kind of like in the TV show. It might be overwhelming, though. You know, I don't know. Or, here's another idea. Let's see, after we get done with all the characters, maybe I'll put Mum-Ra on the far right, kind of his face here with his jaw, and like he's kind of screaming at them this way. And then you will have Jaga as, you know, the spirit leader yelling this way, right? But usually when you do that, you usually want to do like the X-Men style where all the bad guys are coming from this side, all the good guys come from this side. So I don't know. Right now, we're just taking it one step at a time, and I'm just trying to figure stuff out. I haven't done Thundercats or a duo team like this in a while. So we're just going to... Golly. My mic needs to go up higher or something. So this is ridiculous. Sorry, guys. Let me move my mic up. It's like getting all up in my way. But Chitara is looking dope. Yeah. All right. So, I need to fill in this space. The question is he looking at the camera? It was a hard decision whether I'm going to draw the character looking at the camera coming towards, or I'm going to have them facing outwards. I decided to go outwards because I wanted this vibe of like everybody's doing their own thing at different angles, right? Just because that's how I like to work. So I gotta pull up my reference of Panthro. Man, they look goofy. If you ever watch the first episode, everybody's naked. It's really awkward, really weird. Okay, so Panthro's big. He's much bigger than the rest, I think. He's not as big as Tigra for some reason, but I feel like Tigra shouldn't be as big as he is. He's the most detailed. Anyways, okay, so we're going to put Panthro in the back. So I want him to have a... Where's his head going to be, Josh? Where are you going to put his head? See, I've already messed up because if I do this, then his head won't actually show up. It'll be behind her knees. So let's start with the head. Okay. Can you guys see that? No, sorry. It'll work. It'll be fun. He's supposed to be bigger anyways. It's kind of like the muscle-bound dude. You kind of like Hulk. It's kind of hard to get the proportion right when you have someone like hugely bigger. On his back going up. Okay. Here's another hint that will help you guys out. Make sound effects. I know it sounds dumb, but I've always found that making sound effects kind of helps out the you getting character. One of the things about artists that I like, I don't know if you guys like this is me as an artist, specifically me. But I think if you ever realize when you were a kid, I don't know if you guys did this, but when you were playing with your toys or you're drawing or something and you're doing something really action packed, you would be doing the sound effects. You'd be like, you know, like, and when you do that, you actually absorb yourself into the character's emotions and vibe and everything like that. So I do that a lot when I draw, and I think that's probably why I didn't go on live stream for a long time, is because I was afraid of people being like, this guy's psycho. But it helps a lot. You know, I don't know why it does, but for me it helps a lot. And it could help you. It could be something fun to just remember, is like, hey, it's okay to make sound effects as a kid, because as a kid, the kid's imagination works well. Yeah, so when did you guys start drawing? How about that? How old were you? I started drawing whenever oh my god, his leg's way too long. I started drawing when I was, I want to say four-ish is when I really know, because I have photos of myself doing it. Maybe, yeah, probably 4. Now I learned how to color in between the lines from my next door neighbor, who was this girl. Her name was Dana, and she was my only friend. And she was the one, I respected her, loved that girl as a kid. She was my best friend. Treated her poorly as a kid, but used to mail her my boogers. I still regret that. But, you know. Hey, Yukuri Odyssey. The cacophony, yeah. So, honestly, you did it in art classes, yeah. But one of my major things that I've ever learned was coloring in the lines, and that was definitely when I was around 5. And I owe that all to my next door neighbor, who just was like, Josh, I know you like to doodle and draw, but please color in the lines. And I was like, what do you mean color in the lines? What does that even mean? I didn't even know what that means. I didn't color in the lines. That's why I don't do coloring now. That's why I don't see anything I do coloring. Hey, that's rad. That's rad that you tried multiple times. That must mean it must mean, Randy, that it's in your blood, you know, and you can't really say no to it anymore. You know, some of the famous directors that you hear about winning these Oscars and stuff like that, like Ang Lee and stuff, they worked on stuff most of their lives, but it wasn't until they're like 40 or 50 that they're actually producing the work that they wanted to produce. So, no shame, brother. No shame. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Frozzy. Really am. I know there's another artist recently just said that they just passed away and actually a YouTube artist too, and that's really sad. It sucks. Losing friends is never a fun, good thing, especially when you could have spent more time with them and you feel that way. So, do apologize. Hope you know, hope they were an encouragement, and you know, it's just a tough thing. It's a tough thing. Yeah, if you've got a passion for something, it always comes back to you. You know, you should listen to it. That's your whole entire. That's your you know, like I said before, you got one life. It's not worth throwing it away just because you're afraid to do something. It should be the essence of what you're trying to do. Man, I need a better picture of Panthro. Oh man, he's got some big old ears. Man, I gotta make him bigger than that. Eesh. But panthers really don't have big ears, do they? Like, I don't understand. Never drawn a panther's ears, so hopefully this looks semi-accurate. That's rad, Randy. You should be obsessed. You should be obsessively obsessed. The hard part is maintaining that obsession and trying to make sure that it doesn't go away because you feel discouraged. You know, that's the... I get discouraged all the darn time. I mean, darn. Like, so often. It's ridiculous. But it's all self-induced because I... you know what the biggest issue is? Social media. It's a viciously dangerous place to be, because it can easily remind you of how much more work you need to do. And that's dangerous because you don't have to do much more work. It's you telling you that you're not as good as these other people. But then social media is tricky because it's not time-based. It doesn't work off of time. A lot of these people who post stuff all the time and it looks like their work is amazing, especially their ink work, like I'm mind blown. They actually don't have a job. You know, that is their job. So they're spending 8 hours a day drawing because they're fortunate enough to get there, right? Or they did this work over like 4 or 5 months and then compiled the work to where it looks like when they post that it's coming out every day kind of stuff, but it's not. And so, you know, it's tricky because you can't really judge it in the right way that you should. But on top of that, you shouldn't be judging it anyways, because we're all going to have to come to agreement that some people have the time and capacity to create this work and have put in the hours, and you should be, you know, a lot of these people deserve the recognition that they have because they've done the hard work. They've actually done it. Whereas I know for myself, I haven't put in that much amount of hours, you know, though I feel like I have, doesn't mean I actually did. Compared to them, they probably put in like, 5 times as much as me easily. Yeah, social media can make you feel so inadequate, it's ridiculous. So I don't use social media for motivation. I use it specifically to post, and then I get off. And I see some stuff every once in a while that kind of, you know, pisses me off. That like I'm like, oh man, these guys are so good. But I always remind myself, I'm like, you know, they deserve it. I should be proud of these artists. We should always be encouraging each other, and on top of that, like, I've got my own style. That means, I have, you know, yeah. I mean, social media is always going to be everybody's stumbling block, man. That's going to be it's just that's what it is. It feeds our fears and stuff. But you don't have to worry. Imagine if Da Vinci and Michelangelo and all these other like old school artists had like social media. They'd probably be like, I wonder how they would feel. I wonder if they would be super encouraged by it, or if they would be like, they wouldn't even use it. It's his eyes. I don't like Panthero's eyes are not cool. Yeah, they're not right. Yeah, social media is rough. There we go. He's got that grimly golem look, but that's what he looks like. There we go. Smaller eyes is better. Yeah, social media you should not stick on too long. But it is my tool for posting and stuff, and that's all I use it for. Other than that, I do not get down rabbit holes. Actually, most of my studies are on YouTube. So I'm very lucky to think that like I don't really get on there to look at other artists. I really don't. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, do you know this artist, stuff like that is doing this or whatever, and I'm like, nah, I don't watch anything art related really. I post and get off, but then what I usually watch is religious stuff, like learning about religions, specifically Christianity and the Bible and stuff like that, because that's where my passion is. It's kind of like the biblical art and stuff. Not that I'm a Christian or anything like that, but I love the lore of like Egyptian stuff. Of like, I mean, he does not look angry enough compared to these people. See, this is the hard part right here. Is when you're trying to compare the actions of everyone else, and you're just not really translating it over. Okay, he looks like the Green Goblin, but we'll figure this out. That's a little bit better. He can be gritting his teeth. And bring the shadow of his cheek down over here. And then his eyes need to be focused upwards. So how do we do that? Let's get let's angle it up. There we go. That's a lot better. Whew, that was rough. Worm me there for a second. And then we'll give him more muscles up here to make him look more, less like Green Goblin and more like a panther. And then extend his muscles. And we'll have his claws out instead of a fist. Always got to make sure to try to translate the image so people don't confuse it. Because if I just showed this right here, people will be like, that is definitely the Green Goblin or the Hobgoblin, you know, pissed off. Cannot have that. Cannot have that. So oops. Yep. Don't want him flicking someone off either. All right. Let's see. How does the right hand come? It's like this. I gotta take a photo of my hand. Maybe I could just do it. No, godly. No, how do I get this hand to look right? Sorry for the shaky camera, you know. It's on a boom, so it's just there's no way to really stabilize it. So anyone working on any cool projects, you know, right now, other than just sketching around and playing? Anybody thinking about doing like something cool, like a comic book, or I think maybe I asked this already, actually. Josh memory, no good. Oh, that's right. He has a weapon. What am I thinking? What's his weapon? Oh, man. Okay, I got his body armor stuff, but what's his darn weapon? It's a whip, isn't it? Not tripping, right? Oh, he's the nunchuck dude. Tigra is the whip. Nunchucks. I love nunchucks. Okay, well then, see, that just changes the whole hand I just made. My gosh, Josh. Sometimes you baffle me. Ooh, nice. You got a female character you want to put on paper. That's dope. Female characters are super rad and under promoted, I guess you would say. I really enjoy female characters. It's my hardest thing to do is to create a perfect female character, because I'm really like, I want to do women justice, and represent them as well as I can. But I feel like as a man, I lack a lot of information, It's really hard. It's tough. Women are tough creatures. They are the toughest creatures on the planet. You know what I mean? Oh, no way. Odyssey doing was this like fairies and stuff? Like horned people and fairies? That's dope. I love horned people and fairies. I love like Lord of the Rings, that kind of like theme based stuff. My jam. I made an entire trading card game based off of elves and dwarves and fairies and stuff. Kind of mixed two worlds. There's this movie called The Legend with Tom Cruise, but kind of got unicorns and stuff like that in it. I am a big fan of that world. I love it. I love it a lot. It's just something fascinating about that whole thing. Yeah, Frozzy, it's hard to tell a story from the perspective of a woman for sure. And another, one of the, I'm going to be a little honest with you guys, and please forgive me if I offend anybody, for sure. But it's also about like representing women without representing women in the light that they think that they should be represented in, which has been like a thing that's been happening for a long time, is where, oh, we got to fight for women rights, so we got to tell stories about women being oppressed in this way or abused in this way and things like that, and they coming out and being warriors or fighters for this. It's like, well, would we do that for a man, right? And like as a dude, I wouldn't want women to draw men all as like these super muscular guys who deal with like a father who beats them and they want to like get revenge, or like they become someone bad, or like these kind of little stereotypes to our both of our sexes. Like I feel like females probably would want to be represented as like, oh, she was the bully in school, but she learned to fight better, and she actually got into a lot of bar fights and became a bouncer. And then, yeah, she dabbled in a couple of things in her life, but mainly she wanted to, something a little bit more like just naturally done without having the sex be a part of their theme, But then, like, then do you take it too far? What happens if you represent it wrong? Stuff like that always comes to my mind. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing to do. I don't really know how to do it, so don't take my advice on that one at all. Okay, so we got his hand finally done. That's good. A little rough. I've erased it too many times. But let's get on to his shoulders and his cool outfit, because he's got these 3 freaking dope spikes that come out. Heck yeah, this guy's freaking dangerous. Yeah, I feel like they do too. I wonder what they are. I would love to ask. I would love to have. I went to a women's panel, actually, comic book creators of women's at the last LA Comic Con, and they had a women's comic book artist panel, and it was just so fascinating. I mean, women have such a great imagination and like different perspective of how superheroes and characters should be portrayed in their world, and man, I love it to death. Um, you just when I was growing up, girls did not like comic books. Girls did not like anime. As an Asian boy growing up, girls wouldn't even pay me an ounce of attention because I was into anime and Dragon Ball Z and all this stuff, So nowadays, if you're into that, like that's a mandatory thing. Even like football players will have to be into some sort of anime. Like it's crazy to me, because like kids are just like so benefited with like having culture merged together with your female or male, and I'm like, man, like my nephew is uh, he's in school, and I'm like, all his girlfriends are like this. I'm like, dude, you're a lucky dude. Back in our day, it was not like that. Like, kids these days they don't have it easy, but when it comes to the cultural things, like, understanding your nerdiness with each other is definitely easier. It's just fascinating. Because then maybe my art teacher would have passed me on some of my stuff since anime was popular now and that kind of stuff, because that's all I drew back in the day. Yeah, Odyssey. I would love to see your art book as well. That would be awesome. Definitely share it with us so we can support it. If you're gonna put it, are you gonna do like a Kickstarter for it? Or you're just gonna self-publish it, or what's up? What's your plan for it? Oh, it's out of focus. Darn. So you guys use Twitter still? Or X, whatever you say. I used to be on Twitter a lot, but then it wasn't really doing anything for me. I do follow a few comic book artists on there, but it really it wasn't benefiting me at all. I tried everything to get followers and like get attention, but it just felt like I was wasting more time on there than I would ever on like Instagram or something like that. So, oh, this goes all the way down. What am I doing making a vest? Well, if you do a Kickstarter, definitely let me know. I'll support you on that one for sure. If if you do Amazon and just put it on Amazon to go, like that's probably a really smart way to do it, because I think, it's instant purchase, and I don't know how the profits are. But if it's not necessary to even go to Kickstarter, then maybe it's better just to bypass that and go straight to sale, you know. That'd be dope, though. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, it used to be great when you didn't need to pay. Yeah, it was. What's the pressure about? You getting under pressure of like accomplishing it in a certain amount of time, or what's up? What's whether it's going to be good or something, or TF? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just talking about our current projects and stuff. Oh, my reference disappeared. I mean, pressure on art is always going to be tough. I feel like, you know, any project that you do is just, there's always pressure. But I'm curious what an art book, like the pressure you're going through is what you're facing. Darn, see? This is the gloves are even blocking, messing up my shading. TF, that's why I wear gloves, but even that, I'm still messing it up. Man, it's getting dark here. But if I didn't have these gloves on, the oil would definitely be smearing all over for sure. Way more. Yeah, you didn't know about this one here, erasing the glove. I don't know. I've never done that before, but maybe it'll work. Try gloves in a bottle. Very, very funny. Very funny. I would definitely try gloves in a bottle. All right. Darn it. screen. Stop it. So just so you guys know what my reference is oh, I don't know what I just did though. This is my reference for my characters. I have Panthro here, you know. I have Lion-O, the Wily Kitten Cat, and then Tigra, Chitara. Yeah. And this goofy dude down here. Snorlax. Here we go. Well, first off, yeah, pressure from family can always be rough, no matter what. No matter what. But, you know, I always like to think that my real family is the artists and people that are around me. And if you can be encouraged that you have people here, even at this channel, myself, you know, Randy, Frozzy, all these other guys here, that want to see your work and encourage you to do it because we're in the same boat with you. You know what I mean? And like I said, you got one life to live. No need to care what people say. Just do it and see what happens. If you like it, you know, you're not going to please everybody. I mean, most people you're not going to please. If you do a Kickstarter, I'll support it for sure. Oh, don't let your haters see this inside copy. Yeah, sure. Dude, the whole world is about copying. I don't know what anybody says when they're like, "Oh, you're copying." Well, you copy too, dude. No, I created it myself. No, you did not create it yourself. You your references in your brain are functioning under the same exact copying mode that anyone else does. You're looking at something, you're getting ideas. Are you really that original? No. No one's original these days. And that's okay. What's original is, you know, your storytelling and your way of, you know, somewhat describing what you're trying to draw. Plus, none of these guys are in those poses that I just showed. And even if they were, and I did exactly that same thing, it's my style. It's my style, baby. Screw you, and let's just do this thing. I don't mind when someone says I copy, because I'm like, okay, real funny, haha, I don't care. Man, you know what's weird is I put his nunchuck and it's going right up his nose. Oh well, you know, that's when you say, oh well. I don't want to change it. I don't really think, maybe I should change it. You're right. Okay. You're right, guys. There. It's not up his nose anymore. I'll even change the angle of it. It looks kind of weird, though. Whatever. spending way too much time on Panthro. This should not have taken me this long. He is like a simple stance, and I'm just going to start shading this guy in. So part of my shading technique of how I get my shading done real quick is that I block it in knowing that there's a muscle here, the shoulder muscle. This muscle specifically, right? So if I'm going to shade this one, I'm going to come in here because the light source is coming from the top, mostly from the top. There's some side stuff, but add this little guy here because, you know, shoulders have these like different lines. You see them in comic books a lot, but I only need one or two. And then come in and then really almost make it up. I just make up the shading. And then because I need to define the bicep a little bit, I'll follow this line here and I'll leave an opening of white light right here for the lines that I'll do. And then tricep muscle, add a little shadow here, boom. That should be enough to really get it done. But for the most part is when I'm having light coming from here, I will do that since this is a vest, so there's not really any real definitions. Add this line here real quick. And then technically this could all be shot dark, really. But for the muscles, I would do that. And then there's usually a bone right here, so you want to like define that. So just draw a little square. But I don't have to draw the line first and then kind of get through it. I just kind of make it up as I go. And then if it looks right, it looks right. If it doesn't look right, then I'll erase it. I mean, that's just what it is. Dude, who didn't have a crush on Chitara? She was pretty much naked half the time, and she was a cheetah. Like, cheetahs are just sexy animals in the first place. You know, I'm not into I don't have a cat fetish or anything like that, but Chitara was pretty much, you know, the 80s big boobed feline chick who was, you know, she actually kind of creepy though, because I feel like she has a thing for Lion-O. But when the first episode comes out, Lion-O is like a kid, and she's kind of like grooming him a little bit. Little creepy. And then he gets older, and he's all buff, and then she's like, okay. It's like, oh, well, I mean, technically it's okay, but then, is it okay? Yeah. Characters back in the day were just on a different level. Oh man, see, his eyes should be, he should have a bigger eyebrow. Yeah, that's fine. He got this golem look. I don't like his ears. It's his ears. That's what's killing me. That's what's ruining him. His ears are like a freaking goblin. All right, no earlobe. You're a cat, dude. So who was the hottest, you know, old school who's the hottest cartoon character then? You know what I mean? Who would you say it is? I would have to, I mean, let me actually think about it. I don't want to just say, spout out stuff. Hottest female. Man, that's a tough one. They were all pretty good. Dude, my brain can't even work right now. I know there's tons. Jim? Who's Jim? Tell me more. Firestar. Interesting. I mean, Jubilee was pretty hot. I had a big crush on Jubilee back in the day. Not Jubilee. I'm sorry, not Jubilee. Rogue. When I say Jubilee, Rogue. Rogue was hot stuff. What are the April O'Neil? Don't even know why. It's not. She wasn't even like cartoon attractive, but I think because she was the only female in the Ninja Turtles. I don't know. I had no idea. April O'Neil just had a thing. I had a thing for her. Wilma. Wilma. Wilma was hot. That nerdiness that she had. Mm-mm. I'm trying to think of other characters. Yeah, Rogue was just super hot because she was like, "Hey, honey, uh, I'll take you up, sugar pumpkin." You know, I was watching X-Men today. I'm trying to go through the whole series before I get to X-Men '97, and she's just like a big flirt, like a huge flirt. She's more flirtatious than Gambit was actually, but I'll ride your car any day. Like, whoa, okay, like, dang, Rogue, you a little hardcore for a kid show. Yeah. The Baroness. The Baroness. Who's the Baroness? Baroness. What cartoon was that from? Kids grew up fast. I remember being in, I think I was in the fourth grade, third grade, or something like that, and I was riding the bus, and kids were talking about the pink Power Ranger, as in how they would love her, and then when they grew up, they wanted to marry her. And I was like, yeah, the pink Power Ranger, Kimberly, hot stuff. She's not a cartoon, but kids do grow up fast. Oh, G.I. Joe. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, she was. If I remember right, yeah, absolutely. Huh. Trying to think of any other show then. Can't remember any cartoons when I was younger. Uh, okay. Let's get done with Panthora, Panther. I can't freaking think of his name right now. Good grief. He's taking me way too long. I should not be taking this long on this dude. I draw way faster when I'm not talking. I don't think the movies did Panthro. Thank you. I don't think the movies did any of them justice, honestly. I've never seen a movie edition of anything that they did. You know, the only one that I felt like they did semi-justice with the character from anything was Tomb Raider. The first Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. That was the only one that I was like, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Because we don't play Tomb Raider specifically just for the adventures and the mazes and the cool little history lessons. No. There are other hidden reasons why we boys play that game. And you did me justice, so thank you. Oh, he's not my warm-up. I was redrawing these cats. Oh, literally cats. For a couple hours before I got on because I didn't want to get on without having something to show. I erased it yesterday, you know what I mean? And I felt bad, so I needed to go back in there and, I'm trying to give my YouTube a little bit of a higher quality. I've been playing around too long because I recently just moved, so then, I didn't have the energy to, really put in a whole bunch of effort into my YouTube, high quality stuff. I've been doing, these gods and goddesses and stuff that are pretty simple to draw, and they're not really pressing the edge of my the things that I want to show and my skills and stuff like that, of what I can teach or something, So this one I really wanted to. Oh yeah, Lord Scarlet's legs were her legs. So anyway, this isn't my warm up. This is just me being a complete doofus. And I usually draw when I'm watching a movie. So if I don't have a movie on, my brain doesn't work as fast, and then honestly, talking into a mic is super tough. TF understands this, having something to say or feeling like you have to say something. Maybe I don't have to say anything. Some of my biggest views were from things I didn't even talk on, or not much on. It's just weird to have a mic in my face. So I feel like I need to say something. I am drawing on it's called the Leader paper. It is a comic book paper with grid lines on it. If you can see, it's a full-scale comic book page. Is what I think a lot of comic book artists draw on. Deleter ink right here, 135 kilograms, and that's the size right there. And it's got the blue linings. That way it disappears when you go to scan, right? If you don't know about the blue lines and stuff like that, blue lines disappear on certain scans, and when you bring them in, you can even use a blue pencil to do your sketches. So if you ever see sketches that are done in blue, this color blue, this is a specific non-printable. Oh man, All right, I'm gonna have to erase that. It is a non-photo blue pencil. Yeah. And you know, honestly, I bought this because I was started to use. I wanted to use this, and then I just never did. So maybe I will. Maybe I will use it. And it erases like a pencil somewhat. There's still blue dot. Darn me. Sketching technique, yes, there is a sketching technique that I do. I can't speak because we all have something. I think everybody has their own different way. I think TF probably has his own way. I'll sidetrack for a millisecond just to show you. But where is my paper at? I don't know where all my paper went. So the technique that I use is I don't use microns to sketch with. I don't use this stuff. The felt tip is too strong. I use a razor point pilot because it kind of bleeds a little bit and it has a little bit like, it's got a longer felt tip to it. And I don't really care about damaging it too. But when you sketch on this kind of stuff, like if I was gonna do, let's say I was gonna draw a sketch Panthro here. Obviously, since it's a pen, you can be a lot looser, and you would just kind of go in and just start doodling in the areas that are most important to you. You won't even have to be perfect, because the thing about pen is that even though it looks all gnarly and like scratchy and stuff, when you start actually refining it, you can refine a lot. You can do a lot with a pen that you can do with a pencil as well. People just are afraid of the pen because they think that it's like once you do this sketchy line, game over, it's going to look crappy from there on out. And it could be true if you're doing way too like, whatever. But even if you did this, there's redemption in a lot of that. So for here, if I wanted to clean this all up, I would just go in and black it in and darken the lines, and then come in. Of course, you're gonna have these lines here, but they'll eventually disappear once you start shading with the pen, right? And there's tricks about hiding it within the shadows and stuff. So, but you just want to kind of like scribble. Scribbling is the key here because you're allowed to scribble. And with a pencil, you don't really want to scribble because it can dig into the paper, right? That's what I've learned, is that you get a lot more out of a pen when you scribble. And then you come in and refine these lines up, and then you can hide them. You can straight up hide these mistakes real quickly. And people won't even know. Either way, yeah, so. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of my drawings actually were scribbling, and then I go in and fill it in, and it just, because they don't see the process, they don't realize that there's scribbling involved, and that a lot of these lines were cleaned up in the end. And I think a lot of artists do this because, they can hide a lot of work. But it also teaches you how to be confident in your drawing. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to draw his hand here, I'm just going to make up his hand. Now, is the proportions right? I don't know. But let's say they're not right? Which they're not, but it would force me to kind of extend his arm and move other directions with his arm and blend in and get to it going. And then where all the scratchy lines are, I would come in as smoothly afterwards. and then create shading for it. And so on and go on, you know. That's just how I do it. Doesn't mean it's always 100%. You like ink on your hands. I fully agree with TF. Ink on your hands makes you feel alive. Makes you feel real inside. I mean, what's the point of living if you don't have ink on your hands and your face? TF draws fast and well. I get distracted too easily. Somehow this guy here can talk on a stream and still draw 3 drawings within an hour. Mind blowing. Don't get it. I think he's cheating somehow. He's copying. That's what he's doing. He's tracing. He's got the image underneath, and he's using some kind of special glasses that only he can see what's underneath, and everyone else on the viewer on YouTube can't see. So super cheating. Yeah, definitely ban the guy. Yeah. JK, TF he does a real good job. He does a good job. He's got some good work. Check out his channel if you got a chance. He actually was the one who got me to draw the crow drawing, one of my first live streams. One of the earlier ones, at least, because I love the crow. I do. I love the crow. Not as much as him, though. He's watched them all, I think, and I haven't watched them all. I gave up on City of Angels, and I'm a big Brandon Lee fan, so I kind of felt like I was betraying Brandon Lee. Bruce Lee, you know. Bruce Lee's my boy. I watch all Bruce Lee films. Love Bruce Lee all the way to the end. The new Crow film, I have high hopes for it. I'm kind of disappointed in some of the design of it. People are right though. He kind of does look like the Florida Joker with all those tattoos on his face and stuff. Not a fan of that. But I am a fan of the actor, and I hope that it turns out well. Okay, we're done with Panthro. Let's get... Oh, hold on. Darn it. Panthro. Why are you doing this to me, dude? I'm jacking up my paper with the edges over here. Okay, Panthro's done. Now we need... Yeah, the Florida Joker. You haven't seen those comments? It's true, though. He does look like the Florida Joker. His head is not shaded right. Yeah, I was reading the comments and trying to do do the reviews and stuff on the trailer, and I was like, Florida Joker, no way. And then tons of people agree that he looks like the Florida Joker, which he does. He's got all those tats, and he looks goofy. He looks goofy when you compare him to that guy, which makes sense. Okay, so pretty much whitewashed his shading out with my hand, darn it. So far we have, just to make some outline of her leg, remember I said darken it. That'll help bring out the character. But always darken the bottom of the light source, so not where the light's at the top. That way you can have consistency with the character's development. All right, so we're here. Darn, I just got so much lead on my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and darken this here just because I don't want to lose detail. Okay, now for the kids, the Wily Kid. Or should I do Snarl? What the heck is his name? Snarlax or something? Darn it, Josh. I gotta put the two kids here, but I really haven't studied their looks, and I'm terrible at kids. I need time to like study the form of kids. So maybe I will do Tigra. Man, his outfit's he's complicated. Man, he's complicated. Snarf, thank you, TF, the all-knowing TF. TF is the world champion of Jeopardy for my channel. Yeah, he pretty much. If there's a name to be known, TF knows it. I sure don't. Snarf, I don't know what kind of pose I'm gonna make him do, because he doesn't look really vicious. He's kind of a pain in my butt in the TV show. I really don't like him. Yeah, you win. The $500,000 prize goes to TF. What will you do next? Buy a brand new car. Travel to the Key West. I guess I could start on Tigra. Dang, I really didn't want to, but he is the dude. He's the guy. He's the one. He's the chosen one. Man, do I want to do Wily Cat? Tiger is pretty dope. I could put Tiger here. I need to put Tiger down at the bottom. Or could I put Tiger up here and then one Wily Cat here and one Wily Kit over here? But then I got to put Mum Ra's face all the way over here, so. Well, look at that, losing detail right there. I guess I didn't really think this one through. He's got the whip. But the two kids take up so much space. The two cats, the Wily Cat and Wily Kit, take up so much space. It'd be smarter to put them up there. Yeah, because I need Snarf over here. Snarf was such a weirdo. I think he had this weird relationship with Lion-O, like he really kind of creepy relationship. Just saying. Which is okay, you know, I guess cats can be cats, right? Be weird if it's a dog, I guess. Dude, I don't know. I'm actually kind of stuck right now. So this is where I get kind of stuck, because I think it's best to put Tiger right here, kind of with his. I want to do his back. I don't want his front to be shown. I want his back, so his hair can be shown in this kind of and his whip to kind of come around, and then stop over here. But I gotta figure out what that pose is gonna be. Let me get a reference of what he looks like. Oh, golly, look at that hair. Okay, so how do I draw? So this is something that I do whenever I get stuck, just so you guys know, because I'm not an all genius here. Actually, this is kind of an artist's secret of mine. You get dibs on it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pen out so it stands pretty prominent. So I'm thinking about putting him here at the lower end, but I need him to have a whip that stretches across the page. So if the whip is going to be whipped across the page like this, like a infinite symbol, that means his body will have to be within this square. Okay, so within that square, oh yeah, put him at the end of it. Yeah, I would love to. Just like skewered, that'd be the best. So I want the angle to be like this. So his arm needs to be coming back, his elbow needs to be here, his hands be here, and his whip. This arm should be stretched out. His claws, do claws here. And then his face should be kind of semi-looking, because you got to see what his face looks like, right? A little bit. Got this whole Wolverine-looking thing with his hair. No, that wasn't very nice. But okay, so his shoulder blades are what's going to really be showing, because he does look like Wolverine right now. Wolverine. But I need his head to be looking at the camera a little bit. When I mean camera, I'm so sorry. I don't mean camera. The viewer, the picture of us. I always say camera because I do film stuff. So like it's in my. Sorry. When I say camera, that's what I mean. So this is the pose I will probably be doing. So I like that pose. I think it'll work if his. No, definitely don't use the pen to draw, Josh. Yeesh. So bringing this back down, let's zoom back out for you guys. Look at all these fingerprints and stuff. So the way I would start here is because drawing the actual body first would be hindrance to my style of drawing. It's better for me to draw this arm first, because then I can put the whip that will go across the whole page. And from that arm, I could design the body much easier, and then the head and all that stuff. So, let's get a look at it real quick. But I have to be careful because you know what? What if I dropped his arm down and he had the whip out like this, and then it went down? Yeah, you know what? That's a cooler look. So, okay. I gotta get a reference of what he's wearing. So his right shoulder doesn't have a shoulder pad, but his left does. no neck guard. He's wearing pretty much white tidy panties. No, he's wearing a. Oh, that's the wrong one. He's wearing tights. He's just wearing tights. That's all he's wearing. Yeah, hand going down, not up. Smarter idea. So he'll be further back. So we'll do the bicep. Shoot. Put his arm way too high. I feel like he's going to be too small if I draw him like this, though. That's the only problem. And if I put his head here and make him bigger, then it like takes away from Lion-O being the main dude. I wanted depth and distance. So it's gotten more complicated, but you know, once I figure it out, it's going to look great, I think. This is the hard part, guys. I think I need another sip of drink. Okay, let's just go for it. I'm gonna go with the head real quick. Darn, his angle's wrong. Golly. Dude, I might have to take a photo of myself in a pose so I can get this angle right. I feel like it's not... Maybe I can have it actually higher. Elbow bone here, and then... So I rarely draw this angle, actually. In fact, I never draw this angle. There we go. Okay. Then we'll have his ears here. Have him hunched over. It's gonna make the spine, his butt cheeks here. And the whip, so the whip will be here. Too much of a sharp curve. Then it makes me wonder if I should make the whip into a unique graphics divider. You ever see where, like, if there's a line or something like a sword, it would cut the image in half. Like above the sword would be like the space and outer space or whatever, and below the sword would be earth and whatnot. Images do that to kind of give a creative graphic design element to it. So maybe what I could do is, you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. Is I'll do the whip around and it'll split the image in half, and then everything below the whip will be in yellow, and everything in the above the whip will be in blue, and the whip itself will be white. That way it represents the Thundercat logo, where it's blue and white and like that silvery metal metallic look. What's this music I'm listening to? Ooh, getting a little raunchy at night. All right, guys, let's switch it up a little bit. It's not in the mood for that kind of stuff. Space lo-fi. Does not say it is copyright free. Let's see if this one is. It says, save my life, blah, 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 blah. Good, great. Okay, good. Oh, thank you, Odyssey. You like that idea? That's good. Okay, good. Then I'm not going crazy. So it comes all the way to the edge. So that means I have to match the edge over here, which means I didn't do my job. There we go. And then we'll put the balls here because there's 3 balls. Okay, so you can hardly see it, but what we're going to do is below the whip will be the yellow, and like I said, the blue above. And then that'll give me just enough room to put Homeboy's face over here. You know who I'm talking about. The main honcho dude, wizard guy. And then Mum Ra's face over here with the 2 kids. This drawing is going to take me a couple of live streams, so I apologize if we don't finish it soon. It definitely will. Yeah. But then again, this falls under the whole, like, I think it would fall under, like, what's it called? You know, because there's X-Men artists, and they do, like, a lot of these famous artists that I watch on their live stream, they do Daredevil, you know, and all these other characters. So if someone hits me up for this thing, I'd be more than pissed. I mean, I'll just take it down, but you know how many artists just, I mean, when you go to like Comic Cons, they're drawing characters that are famous characters, so. And plus, this is my own rendition of it, so they better not hit me up. I'll be so mad. And it won't affect me too much because then I still have a nice drawing out of it. And I don't even know if they can hit you up unless you sell it, right? It's if you sell the piece of artwork is when they can hit you up. If you're just drawing it for kicks and giggles. But I don't know. You would know more about this than I would, actually. So, I don't know. Okay. So let's start figuring out what Homeboy looks like. I need a view of him. Man, he's got a lot of goofy hair and a big jaw. Tigra. No ears. All right. Great. Okay, let's erase a little bit of this. He's got beautiful hair, that Tigra. Oh, I actually have to end it soon. I have to go walk my dog. My dog like looks at me with such judgment. Like, when are you gonna walk me? Why don't you love me? Like, I do love you. Like, no, you don't. Dogs. What kind of nose is this? That's what I'm saying. Jaga will be on the left here, while Mumra will be on the right. But Jaga's face will be very close to her arm. They're going to be borderline. I think even Mumra will have to be very thin because I have the kid, Wily Kit and Wily Cat over here. And then they will be very, very, like, hardly be seen. But I really don't want to see Mumra and all them anyways. I like Mumra. He looks dope. He's freaking sick. He's probably the coolest character of the show because he's just well developed. But you know. Oh, I forgot those little jewels on his knuckles. Not that anybody's gonna see those jewels. Okay. Thundercats, ho! Yeah, so this turned into a big piece, but I think when I'm done with it, if I can put it into Procreate and then color it correctly, it'll be something I'll be very proud of. I don't know if I'm going to ink this. I've been really pondering because I'm working so hard on the pencil work. If I'm going to ink it, should I ink it, or should I just ink it on Procreate on the iPad? That way, I keep the pencil. You know, because like pencil looks good too. It's a hard decision. I don't know. Well, when I get there, I'll decide. But right now, we're gonna pencil the heck out of it. Yeah, I might just keep the pencil. You know, because whenever I go to like Comic Cons and stuff, I actually like to purchase the pencil version of what they design more than the inked version because I don't know. I feel like it has more of a raw vibe to it, and more of a feel of like, oh, I would. You're right. I can just ink it on a printout. True that. Keep the pencil. Which I might just. I'm probably going to do. Probably just do that because I like to purchase inks. I mean, pencil work rather than the ink. And if anyone ever wants to buy this later on, then I feel like having a pencil would be more fun for them. Darn me! I made the whip in a weird shape now. Maybe I just lift his hand up. It doesn't have to be that long. I do have a light box somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere around here. My wife used it. Yeah, I probably could use that, yeah, for sure. Does he have gloves on? Nope. I love how everybody has super intense eyebrows in this show. Dude, his outfit doesn't, like, you can't even tell it's him, really. Yeah, no, I have a light box. I have an actual light box somewhere, a thin one, a real cheap one I got, my wife got. So I'll probably use that to ink it. But shoulder blades, those are always the hardest. And then maybe I'll have his hand coming up real quick and like, just so you know it's a tigra. It looks like a Kuma from Street Fighter, kind of. But he'll look better once I get the. Oh dang! The whip comes off the page. No. Oh well. What good is life without a little difficulty? Butt needs to come down here more. He needs to have a butt. The butt is, you know what? Women need eye candy too. And that's what I'm gonna design eye candy for the woman. Maybe a little ball sack right there. There you go, little testy. You guys didn't hear that, did y'all? Okay, guys. He's looking good though. He's looking pretty dope. He's looking strong, tiger style. Okay. Ooh, it's coming together. You confirm? Good. So, what do you guys think so far? You know, whose idea was it again that suggested the tiger? I mean, the Thundercats thing. Was it you, Randy, or who was it? Somebody did. Anyways, I have to give mad props and thanks because it's super cool to draw Thundercats, something from my retro days of just. I mean, these are the things that made me want to become like draw and be an animator and stuff like that, an illustrator. So, I don't know who it was. I don't remember. I apologize, but mad thanks. Anyway, so Tigra, Lion-O, Panthro. Darn it, I already forgot his name. You said it earlier. And then Tigra. Chitara. I'm so sorry. Chitara, Lion-O, Tigra, Panthro. They're looking fun. I feel like other artists would fly through this. Definitely like David Finch and stuff, who are just great artists. They just fly through this stuff. Okay, if it wasn't you, Randy, then it was shoot, another subscriber that I'll give credit to. But Thank you for the compliment. Anyways, this is tonight's drawing. We're getting further. Hopefully, to Monday when we start up again, I will have a video. Pray to God that I have a video edited and ready to go, because I need to post something other than just doing live streams. So I'm gonna work on my Samson and Delilah drawing. I still have a good way to go on it. I wish I knew where it was at too. I stashed it away somewhere now. I don't know where it's at, but hopefully I'll have that edited by this Monday and you'll be able to get that. Yeah, it was a great live. I think it was great because I was actually doing work that wasn't, kind of goofy. And this is something fun. And I thank you guys for joining. I appreciate your influence and questions and talking with me while I, do this. And anyways, I'm really excited to see your work, Odyssey. If you put out an art book, that's going to be super dope. Really encouraged by that. And, Randy, also want to see your work too. That's cool. Keep it up, keep trying, keep going. TF, if you got a live stream coming up this weekend, I'll make sure to be notified. And hey guys, thank you for watching. If you're creative, please go create. And you know what? Thundercats. Ho!